Hey guys, what's up? It's YGO Box here, and in this video I'm going to be showing you my Cubic Turbo deck. This is a really fun deck to play with, and it's nothing really competitive. Well, you can actually beat meta decks with it. I've beaten Zodiacs with it plenty of times. But don't expect yourself to be going to regionals or something like that and actually go like top 8 or something. There is a chance, but I wouldn't do it if I were you. So yeah, I'm going to show you the deck profile in this video, and then in another video I'm going to be showing you a lot of replays. So I think I got like 8 replays already from Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro, which are actually on a competitive nice level. So the pros and cons of this deck. So a pro is it's kind of cheap, so you can build the whole deck for I guess about 50 euros, which is actually really cheap for a deck. Most of it are commons. You can actually bling it out for a lot more money, but like to be honest, it's actually going to be quite a cheap deck. So yeah, another pro is that it's an OTK deck, so you can bash your opponent to death in like one turn. Which is actually really funny, which you can do against any deck. But yeah, that's and it's fun to play. It's fun and easy to learn. So yeah, the disadvantage of the deck, and it's a big one, you know. First off, you can brick a lot. The deck is mainly built around draw engine cards, but if you don't have your draw cards and you start with a brick hand, you're dead. Simple as that. Also, if your opponent has an out to your cards, it's game over. Like, let's say they have a solemn warning on the field and they warning your boss monster, it's over. Just scoop, it's over. And that's the main disadvantage of the deck. Of course, your opponent needs to have those cards, but yeah. Alright, without further ado, let's get going, okay? To start off, you're playing triple Red Eyes Black Dragon. This card is actually this is all the rage. This card is just the best card in the game, and it's just a troll. No, you don't play this guy. Sorry, it's a fun. Alright, to get to the real deck profile, okay, guys? So, first off, and this is actually the real deck list. So I'm actually trying to get the cards right. So, you're playing triple Crimson Nova, the Dark Cubit Lord. So, if you don't know what the card does, it's a 3000 booty. So, he has 3000 attack and 0 defense, and his effect says this card cannot be normal summoned or set. It must be special summoned from your hand by revealing 3 other cubic cards in your hand with different names, and cannot be special summoned by any other way. It's unaffected by other monsters' effect whose attack is less than 3000. Whose attack is 3000 or less, sorry. When this attacking card destroys a monster by battle, you can activate this effect. This card can make a second attack this turn during this battle phase. During your end phase, each player takes 3000 damage. You can only use the effect of Crimson Nova, the Dark Cubic Lord, once per turn. So, this has a mini BLS effect, so if it destroys a monster in battle, it can attack again, which is really nice. And in the end phase, both players take 3000 damage. So your main goal is actually to damage your opponent more than enough that the 3000 in the end phase is pretty much game. So you want to get this guy out ASAP. So you really want to get him out as soon as possible. So that's why this is actually a turbo deck, and I'm going to show you why I turbo it. So 3 Crimson Novas. Up next, triple Vajam, or Vijam, or whatever you want to call him. He's this permy little looking thing. So Vijam's effect is actually that he cannot be destroyed in battle. So if you just set it and your opponent attacks into it, it cannot be destroyed in battle. But actually once in the battle phase, like if it's damage step, yes, at the end of the damage step, if this card was attacked, you can put it in your spell and trap card zone and put a cubic counter, on the attacking monster from your opponent. That monster cannot attack anymore, and its effect is negated. So, which is actually really nice. Like if you're going against a deck which plays a monster, like let's say if you're playing against a deck like Naturias and they have Naturia Beast, well, the one that negates spell cards, you're over. So the best thing for you to do is set this card and hope that they attack to it with that Naturia Beast, and then you can negate this effect. But this card is actually really powerful, and I have some cards which are actually tagged in to here as well. So yeah, And for your last cubic cards, well, cubic monster cards, you're playing double Duza. So if you're playing a pure cubic build, you're going to play 3 of these. But since this is actually just a turbo deck, you're going to be playing 2 of these. So the main reason why you are actually playing this is just to get your cards in the graveyard. So if you summon him, you can put a spell or trap. Well, you can put a cubic spell or trap from your deck to the graveyard, which is most likely going to be Karma, the Wave, or the Unification. So yeah, and that's the main reason this card is right there. So you can beef him up a bit as well, and you can use him to attack your opponent. But on the other hand, it's not so smart. Smartest thing for you to do is just to use this effect to pitch a card to the graveyard, and that's about it. I was actually thinking of taking him out and putting a Foolish Burial of Goods in there, because it's actually a bit stronger Foolish Burial of Goods, because you can put other cards in the grave as well, not only cubic spell and traps. But on the other hand, I wanted to keep this build as cheap as possible, and since this guy is only like €1 a piece, and Foolish Burial of Goods like 10 to 15 each, I was like, okay, let's just put in 2 of these to make it easier. So yeah, so 2 of Duza. Then for your cubic spells, you're playing triple Karma. Karma is your main searcher, is the Rhoda of the deck. So what this card does is, so you can activate it and target 1 cubic monster on the field. Then you can send as many Vijams or Vijams or whatever, the level 1 guys, this guy, from the deck or hand to the graveyard. And the monster that's targeted with Karma gains 800 attack for each Vijam sent to the graveyard. So if you put this on your cubic Duza, and you send 2, which is what I mostly do, you send 2 Vijams to the graveyard, this card gains another 1600, making it 3200 booty, which is really nice. You can also do it on your Crimson Nova to beef him up a little bit more, but that's kind of a waste, so yeah. But that's not the main effect you want to be using. The most important effect of Karma is that when this card is in the graveyard, you can banish it from the graveyard and add 1 cubic card, well, 1 cubic monster, if I'm correct. Yes, you can add 1 cubic monster card from your deck to your hand, which is really strong, because this gets you your Crimson Novas, your Duzas, and your Vijams in your hand, which is really important. That's the main reason why you're playing 3 of these. Not for the main effect, but actually for the searcher effect in the graveyard. Up next, triple cubic wave, and this guy is the most important card. Well, no, not really. Next to cubic Nova, is one of the most important cards in the deck. So if you're playing a pure cubic deck, this is kind of like a doubtful card if you want to play him, yes or no. But in this build, you need to play him at 3. It's one of the most important cards in the deck. So his main effect is that when you activate it, you can target 1 cubic monster you control and 1 monster your opponent controls, and you can halve your opponent's monster's attack and you can double yours attack. So if you do that on your Nova, let's say your opponent controls something. Let's say your opponent controls a Blue Eyes White Dragon, okay? Just make it simple. 3000 attack, this guy is also 3000 attack. So you target your Nova, this guy becomes a 6000 beater, and your Blue Eyes White Dragon, well, the Blue Eyes of the opponent becomes 1500. So if you attack, you're going to be inflicting 4500 points of damage. Also, this guy can make a second attack that turn if it destroys by battle, which can actually make the OTK combination complete. Or you can just kill another monster, deal a bit more damage, and in the end phase kill them off with the 3000 booty. So yeah, that's pretty much the main reason that I play this card. Officially, well, on the other hand, if this card is in the graveyard, it has an effect as well. So you can banish this card plus any amount of cubic monsters from your graveyard. And then, like, if you banish 2 other cubic monsters in your graveyard together with this card, you can put 2 cubic counters on monsters on the field, which is really nice, because if a cubic monster, again, is on a card, well, on a monster card, the effects are negated and the card cannot attack anymore. So, really, really, really nice. So, 3 of him, one of the most important cards of the deck. The last cubic cards you're going to be playing is a trap, so you're going to be playing 2 Unifications. 3 is too much, clock's too much, and it actually, you don't want this in your hand. You just want it in the graveyard. So if this card's in the graveyard and a cubic monster you control is removed from the field, so if I'm correct, right? So if a phase-up monster, wait. If a phase-up cubic monster is destroyed by battle or leaves the field, okay, you can banish this card from your graveyard, especially summon one level 4 or lower cubic monster from your deck, ignoring its summoning conditions, which is really powerful. So let's say you have a Duza or a Vajam or whatever hell or cubic Nova on the field, and this card is in your graveyard, and that cubic monster leaves the field, just leaves the field or is destroyed by battle, you can banish this card from the graveyard, special summon another cubic from your deck. So most likely what the pure decks are going to be doing, oh, that's not good for the camera. So they're going to get a Duza out. So the normal summon Duza, send Unification, and the pure deck is actually going to synchro with this guy. This guy leaves the field, they get another one, and they keep looping it. So I don't do that. The main reason that I play Unifications is just for the fact that when it leaves the field, I want to send it, and just for the fusion, and it's well, if you're going to be playing pure cubits, you need 3, but since that's not the goal of this deck, is to make synchros and explode, that's the reason why I'm just playing 2. So it's kind of weird. Sometimes I even put it to 1 discard because I only need it like one time in a duel or something like that when a card leaves the field, but it doesn't really matter. Like, okay. Then for the non-cubic cards, which are a lot because it's a turbo build, so you're playing triple Blue Eyes White Dragon. Why am I playing Blue Eyes White Dragon? Well, because I'm playing triple trade-ins as well, and trade-in and Blue Eyes White Dragon is actually the ultimate combination. Not only that, but I'm also playing triple Whitestone, so I don't know if, well, normally everybody should know Whitestone, but Whitestone says if this card goes to the graveyard, well, if it's sent to the graveyard, either with Foolish Burial or with the card that I'm playing to send it there, you can add a Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand, which actually thins out the deck a lot, gets to your trade-in targets very fast, and also gets you draws, because the card that I most likely use with the Whitestone of Legend is Card of Consonance. So this guy says, discard 1 Dragon-type tuner monster with 1000 or less attack and draw 2 cards. So if you look to Whitestone of Legend, says Dragon Tuner with 300 attack, so that's perfect. This guy sends it to the graveyard, so you draw 2 cards, plus you can add 1 Blue Eyes from your deck to your hand, making him a +1 if I'm correct. And then you can trade in the Blue Eyes targets and get another 2 draws, which really turbos out the deck a lot. So that thins a lot, it gets you a shit ton of draws. Yeah. Well, mainly everything else is going to be draw cards, so yeah. This is my attack card that I found on YGO Pro when I was searching for draw cards. But Draw Muscle works really well in the deck. So if you don't know what Draw Muscle does, it's a quick play card, which is also really nice. And the effect is target 1 defense position monster you control with 1000 or less defense, draw 1 card. Also, that monster cannot be destroyed by battle this turn, and you can only activate 1 Draw Muscle per turn. So what you're mainly going to be doing is, like, if you're stalling a bit, let's say you have a Vajam face down, which is a Vajam is a 0/0 monster, so it's less than 1000 defense, and it's a level 1. So you just set this card, set a Draw Muscle. When your opponent attacks into your Vajams, it activates, making him non-destroyed by battle. You chain the Draw Muscle, you +1. You understand what I mean? Like, you get a free draw. And then next turn, you can actually activate a Draw Muscle again, getting another draw. Yeah, it's really nice. It's really nice. So up next, your other draw card. So this is an older one, Golden Bamboo Sword, and this is actually going to be one of the more expensive cards in the deck, because a Golden Bamboo Sword, it's from Light of Destruction, which is a really old pack. I guess it's like 10 or 12 years old now. Golden Bamboo Swords, they go for about 3 to 4 euros a pop for a random common, which is they're really hard to find. So I was actually lucky. I still had these laying around from when I started playing Yu-Gi-Oh, which was the era of Light of Destruction, Phantom Darkness, stuff like that. And they're still like first edition, so that's pretty awesome. And they're like a near mint condition. Just this one has like a little dent here on the top. It doesn't really matter because I'm not going to be trading these out. So Golden Bamboo Sword, and thank God Konami, we got actually a support card from it last year with, I guess, new challengers. Yeah, new challenges. We got Cursed Bamboo Sword, and Cursed Bamboo Sword is so good. It made everything so much stronger. So this guy says you can attach it to, well, you can equip it to a monster on the field. A random monster can also be your opponent's monster. The equipped monster gains 0 attack, and you can target one bamboo sword you control, return it to the hand. If you do, the equipped monster can attack your opponent directly. So, well, one other, so you're never going to be used that effect. But the main part of this guy, which makes him so good for me, is when this card is sent to the graveyard. Doesn't matter if you discard it, if it's sent from the deck, if it comes from the field, your opponent destroys or pops it, or if your opponent puts it back in your deck or in your hand, it doesn't matter. When it leaves the field, you can add a random bamboo sword card from your deck to your hand, which can either be your last broken bamboo sword, which also is becoming pretty expensive, like also got a first edition from Tactical Evolution. This guy is actually also like 4 or 5 euros right now. But you can also add a golden bamboo sword from your deck to your hand. So if you have this card in your hand already, you can search out your goldens. You cannot search out your cursed, which is kind of sad, but okay, it would make it like kind of too much overpowered. So 3 cursed, 3 golden, and 1 broken bamboo sword, which is really nice. Oh, sorry. Up next, and then the last 2 cards, One Day of Peace and Upstart Goblin. I'm sorry, but I'm too lazy to get Upstart Goblin from my other deck. So I got like 4 or 5 decks laying around. I have Upstart Goblins. I still have more in my boxes, but I'm just too lazy to get them out. Oh my god, my dog is going completely rampage. Okay, but Upstart Goblin makes a 39 card deck, and One Day of Peace kind of makes it a 38 card deck. And then all the other cards make it a shit ton of lower amount of card decks. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. If you want to play an extra deck, you're only going to be playing 1 card, and that's this guy. So this guy is your most important card in the extra deck. I managed to get, like, if I played 20 or 30 duels, I managed to get this out 2 times, so yeah. Just don't forget, if you have 3 Crimson Novas in your hand, to set your trap card, because you can activate this guy. Because this guy is absolutely the shit. I don't know if you guys know what it does, so I'm gonna read it for you guys. So it must be fusion summoned with the above mentioned fusion materials and cannot be special summoned by any other way. By other ways, well, not any other way, but okay. It cannot be targeted or destroyed by your opponent card effects, which makes it kind of broken. When this card declares an attack, half your opponent life points. That's also broken. When this card destroys a monster by battle, you can activate this effect. This card can make a second attack during the battle phase. Okay. If you take effect damage, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the damage you took, which is pretty damn insane. Like, first off, it's a 4,500 booty. Okay, so if this guy runs over your opponent's monster, it can make a second attack. And if it attacks, if you declare an attack, your opponent's life points are immediately halved, which is pretty insane. Like, just mentioned, you start a duel, first turn, both players have fresh 8,000 life points. You declare an attack, boom, your opponent has 4,000. That's just insane. Like, really, that's insane, because if your opponent has like 4,000 life points left and you destroy a card, it can pop again. Well, it's going to make a second attack, and most likely that can be a direct attack. And if that card is a direct attack, well, if the attack is a direct attack, that's going to be game. So yeah, I really like it. For the rest, if you want, you can put like Gustav Max or Dread Rail Cannon thingy-wingy there. The most effective card to also put in your extra deck is the guy that says that you can, what was it, like 2 level 8 monsters, which are 2 Crimson Novas. You can overlay them, and then you can detach 1 card to inflict 2,000 points of damage to your opponent. That's a really effective one, but I traded mine out. So yeah, I already have some friends to keep them aside for me. But other than that, you can put whatever you want in the extra deck. You're not going to be using them anyway, because most likely just the random Crimson Novas are actually strong enough to make game for you. So yeah, that's about it, guys. I want to thank you guys for watching this video. If you learned something, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below if there's anything you guys want to know. That's about it. So, oh my god, that failed here, but it doesn't matter. So, if you have any questions, please comment below. I will try to answer all your questions about this deck. So watch out for the video with the replays. It's coming soon. I'm going to try to maybe put it on, well, on the channel this weekend, maybe on Sunday. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yu-Gi-Oh! Box signing off. Bye bye.